ESG is the new buzzword for pretty much every company. Every large business conglomerate wants to put out the message that they care for the environment, they care for sustainability, but in few cases, it turns out to be just greenwashing. Is it really something that can change the way a company works? We're asking that question of the Vedanta Group today and Hindustan Zinc. Speaking with me in this special interview is Priya Agarwal Hepal. She is chairperson of Hindustan Zinc and, of course, on the board of Vedanta, very passionate about ESG. Priya, thank you so much for taking the time and speaking with us today.
Thank you so much for having me here.
And I'm going to start with exactly the point I made in my opening comments, that ESG is something every company is banding about as a term. What does it mean for you? Because you've taken up the flag, so to speak, of creating that space within your group, a business which is traditionally considered polluting but crucial. How do you bring that ESG formula to this business?
So first and foremost, very, very important discussion. And, I completely agree with you when you say that, ESG today is taken in so many different ways. There's a lot of, question marks about the entire concept. However, I'd like to start with Vedanta and how since years we've been talking about HSE. And in 2020, we coined the term ESG. It really became a term where around the world, companies today even are valued on their ESG. And so it was imperative and really, really important that, to ensure that we work towards a company that not only, corporates or not only follows what ESG wants it to follow, but goes beyond that. And Vedanta has taken that very, very strong stand. We've created a separate vertical for ESG, created a committee with experts, and we've set up 9 very, very important goals, which for each we have a roadmap that we are very sure to achieve. May it be reaching net zero carbon before 2050, may it be becoming a water positive company, may it be impacting positively the lives of 100 million women and children, and many more like that. And these are all they sound like ambitious goals, but when we really look into it and when we've really, done the work, they're goals that we're very, very close to, fulfilling and achieving. When we come to, for example, net zero carbon, you were saying how mining is known traditionally to be environmentally harmful or, polluting. However, with the right technology, all of this gets omitted. It's something like an open heart surgery. For example, back in the day, an open heart surgery used to be a bloodbath, but today it's done robotically or laparoscopically, and that's exactly what what has happened or how mining has evolved over the years. With the right technology, there is close to no environmental damage to our environment. What used to be done in a manner where there was a lot of breaking and damage can be done with precision. And this is the technology that we have now adopted. We've gone to the world, we've seen what the best there is out there, and these are the kind of technologies that we are using.
But it also costs more.
Of course it costs more. Of course it costs more.
So now you've also taken over as chairperson of Hindustan Zinc earlier this year. Mm-hmm. Do you find your objectives as running a business at odds with the ESG goal? Because you have to build the business at better cost as well.
Absolutely. So I think it's about finding that balance. And today, with the way the world is going and the kind of plan, the kind of valuation that companies have when ESG is taken into focus is much more. The kind of premiums one gets when selling the final output is much higher. There's a lot of advantage. Of course, there's a high capital expenditure at first, but once that once you create a strategic roadmap and plan to ensure we can, put that as part of our business plan, then, there's always a way that one can find. For example, with renewable, it's extremely capital intensive, but Vedanta has been the largest purchaser of renewable power globally with 5 billion units of renewable power over 2 years. Beyond that, we've also signed the largest contract 2 gigawatts of renewable power over the next few years. And, some of our companies, for example, Hindustan Zinc, by the end of next year, will have installed a large amount, 250 megawatts of renewable power, which will come close to us reducing 50% of our carbon emissions, immediately. So we're really, really well on our way, whether it's renewable, whether it's, other technology, whether it's biogas, whatever it may be, we are making a very, very consolidated, very, very strong plan to ensure we achieve our goals in a very structured manner.
A big goal for the group at this point, and the big announcement that has been done right now, is the restructuring plan. And a focus on, of course, over time reducing the debt. I want to talk a bit about Hindustan Zinc and what your outlook is for Hindustan Zinc in terms of growth, in terms of unlocking value for investors and shareholders.
So Hindustan Zinc is in a very, very interesting position. We are looking at, currently, we have given a report with Citibank, and whatever we do, we want to do keeping our shareholders' interest in mind. We're looking at, splitting the company into 3, possibly 2, depending on what is most feasible. Definitely there'll be a zinc company, there will be a silver company, and a recycling company. That is where, recycling really is part of, future growth. And zinc plays a very, very important role, especially in India. Today, India is, is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. And for that to happen, the kind of infrastructure development there is going to be massive. And it's very important not to forget zinc here, because to have sustainable infrastructure development, zinc is vital. Without zinc, the kind of long-term sustainability of infrastructure is impossible. And so we're looking at 2 to 3% growth in just the zinc sector. Silver, massive growth. With everything that we're talking about in terms of renewables, solar panels, silver is extremely key. In fact, for the world to go towards the renewable, or the world to go towards the net zero that it wants to, we need solar panels with the surface area the size of Spain. That is a large amount of silver. Where is that going to come from? So we need to ensure that silver is really, really, given a lot of focus. And both zinc and silver play a very, very important role in this. We're talking about lithium-ion batteries, but the new technology shows that zinc air batteries will be better than lithium-ion batteries for EVs. They are more safe. They are, they're water-based, so there's less chances of combustion. So zinc really is very, very important in this entire energy transition as well. And overall, when we look at energy transition as a subject in India, our Prime Minister has committed to 2070 net zero India. For that to happen, we need 3 billion tons of metal. 3 billion tons of metal. And do we want to spend, all our money and all our financials importing that? Or India is a country rich with natural resources. A lot of that can be made here. So I really invite, companies and to understand that and to ensure that we really make in India, and we should, instead of becoming a net importer of all of this, really become a net exporter.
So talking about the restructuring of Hindustan Zinc, your board had to come back with a report recommending that restructuring by the end of November. Is there any update on that you can share? And of course, the government of India is a key stakeholder in this company, so you need to get them on board. Can you give us some details there?
So that is still work in progress, and of course we will go as per what the government and what our shareholders on the board recommend to us, and what they feel is most positive for the company and for the shareholders' future.
What is the rationale though of this proposed split, zinc, silver and renewables versus
recycling,
and recycling versus other permutations in company? Why in this manner?
So I think not only Hindustan Zinc but across Vedanta, what we're trying to do is to get the best possible potential outcome for each metal and for each product. Silver alone has a huge valuation and huge potential, and that can only be done when you separate it from everything else. Same with zinc, same with copper, same with everything else that we're doing. And for each product to reach its maximum output and potential for the shareholders, the best possible way and the best possible roadmap ahead is to split them and make them sole entities run by experts and really maximize and get the best out of each of them.
Okay. What is your vision for this company? I'm just going to talk about Hindustan Zinc right now. What is your vision for Hindustan Zinc? And what would be your priority, and what has been your priority since you took over earlier this year? It's nearly been a year now. So what has that priority been?
Hindustan Zinc is well on its way to become the largest integrated zinc producer in the world. We're already second largest, and we have the potential to become the largest. And that is definitely, what we aim to do. And this has to be done in a sustainable manner. That is really where my passion lies. And sustainability does not only entail, carbon. We're talking about water in areas in Rajasthan where water is scarce. We are, in fact, water positive already, and we are, giving water to communities over there. So water is a very, very important part to play. And beyond that, it's not only about, we're talking about women. Here we're talking about a few years ago, in 2020, women were legalized to go underground and mine. Hindustan Zinc was the first company to have women underground. When you go underground, I was there a few weeks ago and I was speaking to the women, and it gave me goosebumps, because these women are women who fought to just become engineers, and now they're working underground, and they came to me and said the safest we feel is when we're underground. And these women, there are individuals. There's a lady who's a head of security who came to me and said that, this was 6 months ago. She said that my dream is that, I want to get my mother a house, and I want to adopt a baby girl, and she's part of the LGBTQ community. And she was, just a few days ago, she called me and she said, I've achieved both. I've got my mother a house and I've adopted a baby girl. These are the kind of stories, and these are the kind of barriers that Hindustan Zinc wants to break. We want to put women in front. We want to make, the point is that, the world cannot move without mining. It's something that is so essential for our modern day life. We have to make sure that it's done in the best possible manner, and manners that one never imagined before. And Hindustan Zinc is paving the way. The first women rescue team of India. These are women lifting forklifts, lifting individuals, heavy load. You couldn't imagine them doing these things.
What is the proportion of women in the workforce?
We have a goal of 30% women in the workforce, and we've already achieved close to 20%,
okay.
18%. Yeah.
Okay, just taking up from the point that you made about how mining is crucial, but you need to do it in a sustainable way. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to take this a little wider than just Hindustan Zinc, because Vedanta over the years has been at the receiving end of some very sharp criticism when it comes to damage to the environment. What's been happening in Tuticorin, a lot of it has gone to the courts. What would be your response to environmentalists or to those who believe that the way these businesses are conducted is doing some real damage to the world and polluting the earth?
So firstly, I'd like, when we were in 2020, and I can talk about, these are facts and data points that I can put ahead of you. In 2020, when we started the program of ESG, we were not really talking about the kind of work that we were doing in sustainability. The moment we started talking about it and the moment we started reporting it, we were, number 16. Today we're close to being, today we're already number 6 in the world in our ESG rating for S&P Global. This is far beyond peer companies that we used to benchmark at one point. So Vedanta has really taken that stand, and we're looking at already many numbers of increase, and we're looking at being in the top 3 by the end of the year. So top 3 companies in ESG rating across the world. So it's really about looking at facts. You mentioned certain entities such as Tuticorin, etc. When you look at facts, nothing has changed from when the mine was shut to now. There's scientific reports that suggest that everything in terms of what they said was polluting is absolutely the same. So fundamentally, it's in our ethos. It's been a part of Vedanta's ethos to take sustainability and to make sure it's part of the core and everything that we do, and that will never change, and that is very, very imperative, important for our future as well.
Priya, what's also interesting and why I was also keen to have this conversation is to understand your role and your growing role within the family business. Your father, Mr. Anil Agarwal, is really the founder of the group. He's nearing 70. And this is a time when a lot of large family businesses or family run businesses, if I may put it, have laid down a succession plan. Can you give us some insight into if that's a conversation going on right now? It's something I think investors and shareholders would be keen to know. And your own interests in the business beyond ESG.
So first and foremost, you must have heard an interview with my father just a few weeks ago. He's just begun. He's 70, but this is just the beginning for him. And when it comes to the company, we're very, very clear that we want this company to be a professionally driven company, a board driven company, and family is always going to be a part of the trustees. And currently, my dream, my goal is Hindustan Zinc. We want it to be the number one company in the world, the number one zinc silver company in the world. And I'm very, very passionately driving that. And ESG, of course, is key to everything that we're doing. And beyond that, of course, we'll everything is where you must have heard just a few days ago that we're while the demerger process is going on, we're hiring the best possible experts to run each company. So currently, the bottom line is expert-driven, board-driven company, and family is always there to be the trustees.
Just in terms of your interest in role, are you interested in taking on a larger role in the company? I'm just trying to understand where your passions lie.
So currently I'm building my capabilities. My passion lies currently at Hindustan Zinc. This is what I'm focusing on at the moment, and then time will tell.
All right, just before we wrap up, Priya, your experience as a woman business leader and your message for those who are starting out, perhaps not with that kind of backing and a path to leadership, but what would be your big message for them?
For me, the biggest message, and one message that's been passed down to me from my father, is and something that I've really taken is two things. One, and this he says to me pretty much every day, that Priya, if you know that you're doing the right thing, be fearless and go and do it. And two, make sure your head is always on the ground, your feet are always on the ground, so be humble. So be fearless, but never forget to be humble. These are the two messages that I'd like to give to everybody out there.
All right. Thank you so much, Priya Agarwal, for speaking with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.